Hello, this is astrologer coach Sonja Francis, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming new moon in almost 4 degrees of Leo, which will be exact on July 26th at 6:42 p.m. East Coast time in the US, which is also New York time, or 3:42 p.m. West Coast time in the US, which is also LA time. Now, the new moon is always a new beginning of a new moon cycle, and so it's a time where we're planting seeds for the rest of the lunar month and we're setting intentions. This is our time where it's the best time to set intentions. And I will get more into detail about that at the end of the video with exact times and when is the best time to do that. But let's start talking about the new moon in Leo. What's Leo all about? Leo is fun loving, is extroverted. It's a time where we want to come from our heart. It's when we want to express ourselves. We want to learn about love. We want to learn about creating from the heart. And so some of the keywords for Leo are proud and generous and inviting and caring and being warm, definitely confident, definitely active, definitely open and playful, but also very much about being expressive and creative in the world. So, how can we live into these words? How can we use all these qualities to shine our light more brightly in this particular lunar month? So this is really what this new moon is about. Now, Leo is the sign that's ruled by the sun. And so the sun is the symbol of consciousness, and it has to do with, it represents kind of how in particular do we shine our light? How do we come forth in this lifetime in terms of our how we express ourselves, how we tap into our joy. So depending on what your sun sign is, you may be creating from a different place and you may be shining your light in a different way. But the place where Leo is in the chart, that area of your life that's ruled by Leo, that's the place also that's very important to you. And this is an area of your life where you're shining your light more brightly. So you can look in your chart, where is Leo in my chart, in my birth chart, and how am I creating in that area of my life? How am I tapping into my joy in that area of my life, right? So there's obviously with the creativity process, there's many ways to create and to be self-expressed. We are all creators. We're definitely all in the creative process all the time through our thoughts, our words, our actions that we take, but also the emotional component that we're connecting to these thoughts and words and actions, right? So it's very important to pay attention to all of this and to be conscious, how do I create? What's my creative process? And the best way to create is really to come from a place of curiosity, to come from a place of courage and play, and maybe a little bit from that innocent place, that childlike place. And that's why children are such powerful creators, and they can tap so much more easily into their inner joy and create from that place. And so when we're able to do that as well, when we're able to tap into this inner joy and into this inner innocence, we really can tap into our unique spark that is in each one of us and that we're here to express, that we're here to live out. So it's really important to allow ourselves the freedom to make mistakes in this creative process as well, because creativity really thrives on love and permission. And so when we're, it's the same when we're looking at our children and when we're giving our children a lot of love and permission to be in their own process, we usually get a much healthier expression from that child once that child grows up. And we need to give this same love and permission to ourselves, to our inner child. So when we're not doing that, when we're judging our inner child or when we're coming from a fearful place, we really are very much stifling the creative process, and it's very difficult to create the things that we really want to connect to in our lives and the things that really bring us joy. So it's very important to just take a moment and to really get in touch with this free inner child that is there, and so if you had a childhood where you weren't able to, where you didn't have permission to freely create, or where you weren't given the love that you were supposed to get as a child, then this is your time to really give this to yourself, give this to your inner child, reparent yourself, and make sure that you give your inner child permission to create, permission to play, right? And so ask yourself, what does your inner child need? What does it need so that it can come out and have the courage to play, have the courage to create from a heartfelt place, right? And so, of course, in my experience, it's always best to be really gentle with your inner child and to make sure that the inner child feels safe to come out and play, right? Now, this new moon in Leo definitely invites us to reconnect to what lights us up, what we love, how we can express that in the world. And Jupiter, which is the planet that just moved into Leo a week ago, that planet is connecting to this new moon. It's making a conjunction. And so we're definitely feeling more confident and more enthusiastic, and with that expression of the inner child, and with that ability to tap into our inner joy, it's just gonna come a lot more easily with this Jupiter placement. So feel free to also watch my video about Jupiter and Leo, which is going to be the placement that's going to be there for the next year until next summer of 2015. And especially if you're Sagittarius or if you're Leo or any fire sign, that is a great video for you to watch, whether you're sun sign or rising sign or moon sign. Definitely watch that video if you have any of those placements. Now, let's talk a little bit more about that Jupiter placement in connection to this new moon. Now, with Jupiter in Leo, with the new moon, we're definitely having more faith in ourselves, in our abilities. We're having more faith in life. And so this gives us the courage to really get more connected to that inner child energy and allow ourselves to play, experiment, explore. And so take advantage of that, really take advantage of this Jupiter placement in Leo that really invites us to create from our inner core, from that essence, that who we are, rather than from our conditioned ego, the stuff that we've, been trained to believe or trained to do, or, all that stuff that our parents or society has sort of like put into us for a long time. So the other thing with this new moon is that there is going to be a T-square between Pluto, Uranus, and Venus that's connected to this new moon. And so we're definitely going to feel some need to make some changes, make some shifts in our lives. There's some tension that we might be experiencing around that, some nervous energy that we might be experiencing, but it's also very energizing. It gives us the energy to maybe implement these changes that we're here to make. So take it one moment at a time, with this T-square, allow some flexibility, and really, if as best as you can, really seek to resolve any relationship or financial issues through collaboration and cooperation with others. And that's very important. If you have the ability to be objective here and to notice when you're taking something personally, or to notice when you're feeling defensive about something, that can be really valuable. And in that moment, you can either take a deep breath, or you can just ask yourself, is this really about me? Is this maybe about a past issue that is resurfacing, or that's being triggered within me? Is it about a past issue that's connected to the other person, and maybe they're being triggered, or they're having an experience that's connected to their past? But basically, just see how can you ground yourself in the here and now and be present with what's really going on. Now, the other thing with this new moon too is that Mars is in 0 degrees of Scorpio, has just shifted into a new sign. And this is very powerful. It's a very powerful Mars placement. And Mars in Scorpio is very much about wanting to manifest things, wanting to go to a deeper emotional place, connecting to our inner power, wanting to connect to our inner passion. And so we definitely have a strong urge to look at what feels most passionate, what we feel most passionately connected to, what actions we want to take, how we can manifest things. And the thing with Mars in Scorpio is that we do need to also look at what are some old behaviors or fears that are holding us back to tap more fully into this passionate, powerful place. And because it's making a square to that Jupiter new moon conjunction, there is this sense that we're needing to first make sure that we're letting go of some of the things that are holding us back so that we can tap more fully into our inner joy and connect more fully to this inner child of ours, right? So what we want to ask ourselves is like, what have you always wanted to do, be, express, and what are some old behaviors or fears in particular that are holding us back? You know, maybe fears that we're gonna feel disempowered, or fears that we won't have what we need in order to do what we feel really good about, right? So in terms of the creative process, you know, it is important that we just remind ourselves, you know, the creative process happens one thought at a time. It happens one communication at a time, one action at a time. And if we can bring a feeling of enthusiasm and joy to that, to all the thoughts and communications and actions that we're taking, we are definitely going to get there. So this is really, you know, being conscious of this creative process and shedding our fears and looking at where do we still feel disempowered when we take actions or when we do something in our lives. That's really going to help us big time. So we really want to have faith with this new moon that we have the ability to co-create with the universe, that the universe has our back, that, you know, if we allow ourselves to tap into this inner child and look at how we can tap into this inner joy and let ourselves be more playful, that is the thing that really is going to help us with the creative process and with the co-creative process that we're having with the universe, right? So, you know, if you're not feeling connected to that inner child, if you're not feeling connected to your inner joy in each moment that you're creating, you really want to ask yourself, what is holding me back to connect to that inner joy? You know, what changes do I need to make so that I can feel more connected to that inner child and let that play? You know, really connect to that heartfelt energy. And you know, the truth is that if you're in a place right now where you're not happy, where you're not feeling connected to that inner joy, then you may want to consider making this leap of faith into the unknown. Because the unknown, as scary as it may be, because we don't know what is coming up next, it may be the very thing that holds the key to something better in our lives. Because if we're not happy right now, we may as well try something new. We may as well take a leap of faith, right? So, you know, if you can affirm for yourself that it's okay not to know, it's okay to jump into the unknown and to do something differently, then, you know, you can really, I think you can really manifest something that's much more powerful than what you have right now. And you can really connect to that joyful being, to that unique spark in you, you know, and express that and live in a much better place, you know, because I think when we do connect to that, we do live in a better place. And so, you know, once you really are able to let go of your fears and really take that leap of faith and jump into a new place and allow yourself to connect to that inner joy, you know, I think that things will just start to shift automatically, you know, like things will flow more. You'll be more in the flow of life because you're connecting to your inner passion, to that enthusiasm, to that inner joy. And when we are in the flow of life, you know, things just come to us, doors open, financial stuff just resolves itself, money flows, you know, we're feeling fulfilled, we're feeling connected to ourselves. So anything that we're really doing, any work that we're doing, feels more playful. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel like something we have to do and that makes us miserable. So it's really important to remember that, you know, every single one of us has that inner spark. Every single one of us has the ability to tap into our inner joy. And this is your time now with Jupiter in Leo, with Jupiter connected to this new moon. This new moon is your time to do this. So as best as you can, connect to those things inside of you, and see how you can have some fun. Have some fun with it, like try to explore it in a fun way. Now, if you have any personal planets or points anywhere from 2 to 6 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio, then you're definitely feeling this new moon energy more strongly. But of course, all of us have the new moon somewhere in our chart. Some area of our lives is definitely being affected by this new moon. So definitely feel free to reach out if you want to know where that is for you. In terms of a reading, I'm happy to support you always with a reading to let you know how you can connect more fully to these energies. And I offer a lot of different readings on my website. So, if you want to do something that's a little bit less expensive or takes up a little bit less of your time, all of that is available as well. As well as, if you want to go a little bit more deeper and you want to spend more time with me, that's available too. So just go to my website at astrologercoach.com/services.html and you will find whatever it is that you're looking for. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about intentions, which I promised in the beginning of the video that we would do. We want to set some powerful intentions for this new moon cycle, especially in connection to that inner joy, especially in connection to that inner child and our creative process and what we want to create and manifest. So the best time to set intentions is always after the new moon has become exact, and we want to avoid any new void of course phases. So definitely make sure that for this new moon, the most powerful time to do that would be any time between 6:43 p.m. New York time on July 26th until 8:37 p.m. New York time on July 27th. That's the most powerful time. Now, if you miss that time frame and you still want to set some intentions, just make sure that the moon is not void, of course. So check out my weekly forecasts and see if when is the moon void, of course, right around those dates, and just make sure that you wait until the moon is not void, of course, anymore. Okay? So if you do live in a different time zone, make sure that you plug in, the New York time zone into a time zone converter, which you can find on the internet, and then plug in your own time zone, and that will convert it to when is the best time for you to set intentions. And if that's too complicated, then feel free to connect with me via Twitter or my Facebook fan page, because I will, at the time of the intention setting, when it's the best time to set intentions, I will be tweeting, and I will also be posting on my Facebook fan page. So feel free to connect to me via those two mediums, and I will be putting a link underneath the video as well, so you can just click on that too. Now, I also want to thank everybody who reached out to me 2 weeks ago about collaborating with me on a weekend seminar. I invited people to call me up or to reach out to me if they wanted me to come to their town or their country to teach a live course about the soul's journey in relationship to astrology, to see how can we find our soul purpose, how can we find our soul's journey, how can we know more about that. And so I just want to thank everybody who reached out and who wanted to collaborate with me. I'm really grateful for that. And the first weekend that I will be doing in collaboration with a really wonderful woman who lives in Holden, Massachusetts. It will be in November, so check out if you want to join us in Massachusetts in November for that weekend. Feel free to check out the dates and the prices for that weekend on my website at AstrologerCoach.com, and just go to the tab that says weekend courses. Okay, and so just remember, with this new moon, it's a great time to appreciate ourselves and our lives, and to connect to our heart. And the best way to also do that is to give out as many compliments as possible within the next 2 weeks or within the next 4 weeks, because they're definitely going to be deeply appreciated. And this is also going to help you to get more connected to your own heart space and to your own joy. So have a fantastic new moon. Remember, it's an introverted time. It's a time where we go within, and this is why we're setting our seeds, we're setting our intentions. It's not yet a time to take action on anything. This is what we want to do when we're moving a little bit away from the new moon a couple of days after the new moon. Okay? So have a fantastic new moon, and this is Astrologer Coach Sonja Francis. Goodbye.